Crypto apps were supposed to be useless, just a giant casino for degens. But one crypto app has completely replaced a core part of my daily workflow. And it's not built for trading. It's built for productivity and collaboration. It's the anti-Google Docs, and it's impossible to subpoena, censor, or shut down. Because unlike Google, this team didn't just promise not to be evil, they built tools that make it impossible. But before you turn this video off, say, great, another productivity and collaboration app. Been there, done that. Seen this before. Consider this. Google Docs, Notion, Microsoft 365, these tools made us all more efficient. But they also made us more dependent. Easier to surveil, easier to shut down, easier to become fodder for their AI model training. Our entire lives sit on some company's servers, scanned, stored, and retrieved by people we frankly don't know. What if productivity and collaboration didn't have to come at the cost of our digital sovereignty? This is Fileverse. And Fileverse is more than just an other productivity app. And I will build my case today by walking through the history of productivity apps and how we even got here in the first place, why I think Fileverse is the sickest thing since sliced bread, and why demanding privacy from our tools on the internet is a line in the sand we must defend at every cost. Let's dive in. How did we get here in the first place, where one company controls access to our entire portfolio of digital work? We start off in the 80s, when documents were first becoming digitized by new types of software called word processors, on the new phenomenon that is personal home computers. Then, from the 80s through to the 21st century, Microsoft Word absolutely dominated the market. Office workers and students became accustomed to Word and Excel in generating their TPS reports, handing in their essays, and begin the first steps towards total digitization of their work and home lives. But then the chosen one came. As internet infrastructure matured and cloud computing became a reality for internet-based applications, Google released Google Docs, the anti-Microsoft Word, a cloud-based word processor. Crucially, Google Docs took the idea of a persistent, always online internet, transmuted the idea of word processing, and released one of its most potent features yet, live collaboration. Anyone, anywhere in the world with an internet connection would be able to come together and work together on documents, like some kind of office work MMORPG. From that point forward, the word processing game rapidly expanded. Countless competitors aiming to dethrone Google Docs have since been released, improving personal and collaborative workflows by releasing faster, smarter, more modular, and more visual features. But as documents became 100% digital and 100% online, a new problem emerged. Our entire digital lives became captured to Google, Notion, and Microsoft's policies and servers. In our rush to collaborate better and faster, we forget to ask, who's watching? At what cost? Who holds the keys to our ideas? Who decides when we can log back in? What began nobly as digital freedom, the power to work from home, and then the power to work from anywhere, and then the power to collaborate with anyone from anywhere, soon became a system where access to our digital work depended on the policies of platforms we don't control. Our documents may feel like ours, but they live on someone else's servers, under someone else's rules, until now. And so I regret to announce you have been misinformed. Crypto is not just a giant casino. It is an entire cryptographic toolset, redefining the way we think about productivity, collaboration, and above all, privacy. Welcome to the Fileverse. Crypto-based applications have traditionally been thought of as low-effort products with a speculative token smashed on top of it to enrich insiders. So it's dubious when someone like me comes in and announces Fileverse is the anti-Google Docs. I've got two words for you: feature parity. The Fileverse team is tearing down the crypto has no product market fit myth, starting with their two anchor products, dDocs and dSheets. with the D representing decentralized docs and decentralized sheets. You can quickly access either by going into your browser and typing in ddocs.new or dsheets.new. The first time you pop into dDocs, you'll feel like you've never left the Google Workspace, with many of the basic features that you would expect to have from a cloud-based word processing application, except even better. They combo it with Notion's modular block-based editing, letting you build your documents like Legos, while simultaneously leveraging the added benefits of using Markdown under the hood. And with their newly released dSheets, Fileverse proves yet again they're not just out to build another low-effort crypto product. They're taking the Google juggernauts head on, and it's a great spreadsheet tool. It can do everything Google Sheets can do, plus a little bit more, with the added benefit of full integration with Web3 tooling, using formulas like equals Etherscan, equals EOA, and equals Uniswap, and many, many more. Meaning you can directly pull on-chain data without touching a backend server or having to build a custom integration. It also makes Fileverse's dSheets uniquely positioned as the tool to build portfolio tracking spreadsheets. Eat that, Google. Unlike collaborating within the Google Workspace, where every keystroke passes through Google's servers, Fileverse uses peer-to-peer connections for live collaboration, meaning your edits go directly from you to your collaborators, keeping the office work MMORPG meta alive and well, without Google's backend servers processing and storing all of the changes on your documents. But you know what's one product feature that Google, Notion, Microsoft, Obsidian, Rome doesn't have that Fileverse does have? Fileverse is completely open source, meaning it's fully auditable and verifiable, meaning if there's a vulnerability, someone will probably flag it and alert the team. And powerful developers can take dDocs and dSheets and integrate it into their own apps and their own workflows. Fileverse is not just interoperable, it's forkable and it's composable. Anyone can take the Fileverse codebase, reproduce it, and reconfigure it to their preference and their liking, provided they have the skills in doing so. So before you brush off crypto apps as a bunch of broken promises, or assume Google and Notion will just continue to dominate the market, remember this: Fileverse is not far behind in terms of feature parity. But beyond that, they're building all of this in the open as composable and interoperable tools. And they're building an entire productivity suite in the open on infrastructure that is unstoppable, uncensorable, and accountable to no one but you. That's not just feature parity. That is directionally meaningful progress in the art of humanity's productivity. If you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd like to welcome you to my channel, 90 Seconds to Crypto, where we help off-chain luddites become on-chain sovereigns. Every week here, we share the tools and mindsets to helping you unlock your digital sovereignty. We create content as educational public good, so consider fueling more public good by donating here and subscribing to my channel. Back to the segment. So our initial anxieties around a half-baked crypto product have been extinguished. But what really distinguishes Fileverse from the rest of its competitors? This, I would argue, is the ultimate feature. And it's a line that cannot be crossed, even if they wanted to. Privacy. The NPC response might be, "Why should I care? I don't have anything to hide." Some numbers. Between January and June of 2020, Google reportedly received 40,000 government requests, to which 83% of the cases resulted in some form of disclosure. With Facebook, they received 60,000 government requests, to which they complied 88% of the time. And Twitter received 3,000 requests and complied 59% of the time. So we do know that these companies will defer to authorities. Great, and you could even argue that in the name of catching crime, that's a slope you're willing to slip on. But here's a bigger number. In June of 2025, 16 billion login credentials from Apple, Google, Facebook were leaked onto the internet. So even if the government isn't a concern for most of us law-abiding citizens, if and when the cloud bursts, can we really trust that these companies, they're holding our data safe and securely? Privacy isn't just about hiding. It's about being able to selectively reveal what we want to when we want to reveal it. Google, Notion, these are services built on Web2 infrastructure, using high-risk and low-effort login credentials to secure. And even then, these service providers have proven time and time again that they're willing to access your content when compelled to by the authorities. Enter Fileverse. Fileverse is 100% built on crypto infrastructure. It uses a decentralized backend called IPFS, or Interplanetary File System. Think of IPFS like a next-generation HTTPS, but instead of fetching your documents from Google or Notion's centralized servers, it retrieves them from a decentralized network of nodes that store content based on what the cryptographic hash is. With HTTPS, your files live on someone else's server, which means it can inherently be censored or shut down or removed. With IPFS, your files live everywhere, meaning the content is addressed by what it is, not where it is, making it highly resistant to takedowns and censorship. But wait, if your files are everywhere, isn't that by nature less private, less secure? Here's the important distinction. IPFS alone does not encrypt your files. Anyone with the content hash can retrieve it. That's why Fileverse adds end-to-end encryption on top. Before a file ever touches the IPFS network, Fileverse encrypts your files locally on your machine first. It also sits at rest as encrypted ciphertext. And to retrieve and decrypt it, you will need to prove you have the right access controls, which Fileverse gatekeeps using a wallet login interface. This means your wallet private key is used to generate access controls and determine who can decrypt and view your files. Logging in with your wallet private key is the only way to access your documents, unless of course you create a sharing link and share it with someone else, or enable access for other wallets and other users, all of which is configurable within the Fileverse app. This architecture ensures that Fileverse can never access your files because it never holds your keys, and it can never see your plain text. Unless some providers we know. And this is what makes Fileverse such a compelling solution for private productivity. No one can access your files, not even you if you lose your private keys. That makes self-custodying your own private keys an immense responsibility. But you already know that if you're a patron of my channel. But with Fileverse integrating toolsets like Privy, you can also generate private keys linked to your email addresses, making this powerful security model accessible even to normal users. Privacy is table stakes in the new age of the internet. In a world where surveillance is the default, it's not enough to hope your tools will respect you. You need tools that cannot betray you. Fileverse doesn't just promise privacy. It enforces it by design. Through local-first encryption, wallet-based access, and open source code, it draws a hard line where, frankly, others bend. Finally, what's the point of building on crypto rails if your crypto app doesn't even speak the language of crypto? Most teams building crypto applications might settle for what we in the industry call decentralization theater. They might slap on a wallet login interface. They might even upload to IPFS and then call it a day. But if a crypto productivity tool doesn't even provide native on-chain connectivity, can we really call it crypto native? Fileverse is the rare exception. Not just crypto adjacent, but fully crypto integrated. As mentioned before, dSheets allows you to modulate your spreadsheets with crypto native formulas like equals Etherscan or equals EOA to pipe in on-chain data. And the team has hinted at the potential to directly write to the blockchain from within your Fileverse spreadsheets. But further along the spectrum of crypto integrations, you can get granular with your permission controls, allowing access to your files and documents based on wallet address or DAO membership through token gating, meaning you can build permissions logic that works for you and your community. Fileverse isn't just built and secured by Web3, it extends it. No other productivity tool goes this far, and definitely not Google or Notion, making Fileverse a sandbox for composability, an open canvas for building, querying, collaborating, and sharing using on-chain Legos, not login screens. Sovereignty in the digital age began with email addresses and domain names, which you can truly own. And then for some reason, it abruptly stopped there. As the internet has matured, we've grown further and further away from the ideals of true digital property, something which requires true digital privacy. They go hand in hand. As we've grown to become children and citizens of the internet, we've become prisoners to Google and Facebook and Amazon and any service provider out there on the internet. No less, what we thought of as free workspaces to be productive out of, the Google Docs, the Notions, the Microsoft 365, they're only as free insofar as these companies haven't determined that you fell out of line with their policies. So your content is free to be crawled by their AI training models, free to be accessed by authoritarian governments, documents should you fall out of favor politically, free to be spied on, scanned through, and collected upon for whatever reason deemed necessary. That is until Fileverse and crypto rails writ large entered the picture. Finally, an alternative path in the tech tree of humanity. For the first time ever, we can proceed forward knowing full well that our digital means of production is singularly controlled and accessed by our private keys, all while doing it in a way that matches what Google and Notion can provide on paper, all while doing it in a way that is completely open source and composable, all while doing it in a way where your product is a Lego block, not a dead end, and all while doing it in a crypto-first way with non-crypto native accessibility. Crypto is not a casino. Fileverse is living proof of that. And I have already begun migrating all of my online workflows to be Fileverse first, because privacy is that important. In producing this video, I wrestled with a difficult thought. Doesn't this same privacy protect the guilty? Should we really be affording criminals the tools to hide in the shadows? But then I remembered, when you can build systems that can spy on the guilty, you build systems that will be used to spy on the innocent. Yes, privacy can protect the guilty, but it also protects the whistleblowers, dissidents, the disfavored, the truth tellers, the survivor, and you. That's not just a feature, that's a line in the sand that we must defend. Spreading the good word on good work in crypto, my name is Tim, and I invite you to try out Fileverse by going into your browser and punching in dDocs.new or dSheets.new and playing around. If you're not already a crypto native with your own wallet and private keys, you can easily create a new wallet with new private keys using your email address. Fileverse is just one step into the infinite universe of self-sovereign digital tools and technologies. It began with self-sovereign money, Bitcoin, and is now moving into other spaces like productivity apps and social media. Want to know how crypto tech and crypto rails enabled me to earn my first dollar on-chain way before YouTube? If so, then you'll definitely want to check out my Zora explainer here. That's it for now. Peace.